Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone and Sean Anderson. We are here to preview week 1 of FCS football. Not many sexy matchups, so we are going to be digging into South Dakota State versus Sac State, and we decided we're going to pivot, even though some outlets, like our good friends over at Hero Sports and Sam Herder, have framed Richmond versus Lehigh as the most important game of the week. I beg to differ. I'd rather talk about Montana State versus Oregon. Sorry, Sam. We're going to get to that game instead. Wasn't that the wording that he used in the article? I'm not taking a shot at Sam.
I would just say
he's better than us. We are hacks. We want the viewership.
I'm just saying, if I'm writing an article for this week 1 slate, I'm starting with Sac State, South Dakota State. That's just what I'm starting with. Lehigh, Richmond, it's important.
Yeah. We don't have Lehigh fans or Richmond fans, so it doesn't behoove us to discuss said game. Also, Richmond, bunch of cowards leaving the CAA.
Yeah.
They're on the shit list. Let's start off, though, with the games that save our jobs. Sac State, South Dakota State. This game has a lot of intrigue, and when we did our preview, we discussed both these teams as important ones for shaping the FCS landscape. You got Dan Jackson taking over for South Dakota State with all the departures that they had. Chase Mason to be the starting quarterback. We're trying to figure out what is the identity of this team. There's high hopes for what they're going to do in the run game with Julius Lowride taking over. Hopefully he can be that next great South Dakota State running back that we've been waiting for. And on the Sac State side of things, they're too good to be an FCS team. They think they're too cool to stick in the big sky. They're an independent team now. You've got Coach Marion coming in, who tremendous coach. We're excited for. Had somebody a part of their staff reach out to us when we were doing the voting. So I'm rooting for them, but they've got a lot that they have to prove, especially Jamar Curtis and Jaden Rashada, who are going to be heading up this team.
I think that we are under no delusions that this South Dakota State team is vastly different than teams past, given the amount of players on last year's team that are not on this year's team. So when we do these previews and people accuse us of being South Dakota State Glazers, or you guys don't know anything, or you think this,
You're
and
saying
you think
a lot
that,
of things that are kind of correct.
We've heard that a lot. We understand the situations of South Dakota State, and I am trying to preface all of these September matchups with these teams, especially in week 1. I tried to do it with week 0, as this is all learning experience for all of us. All right. If you're not at the practices every day, we're all going to be basically learning the mettle of these teams in the first couple weeks. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a belief that they will be good. Why wouldn't we? Because there's been a pattern of greatness, and a pattern of greatness results in a baseline level of they're going to be good. And we should all walk into this season with that same understanding. Sac State, that's a horse of a different color. Is that the term? It's a different.
You might have made that one up, but we're going.
I'm almost there. Sac State, different. Sac State brought in 50 transfers to their team. That's crazy. And that's new college football. And how that will work in the FCS, we'll see. Typically, you kind of like to build in-house, get guys to learn over time, and then you can end up slotting them in after they've learned, a la South Dakota State. But they are going, we need to get out. We are bringing in as much talent possible, and that's going to create a very interesting matchup between two schools that are currently operating in diametrically opposite philosophies for team building, I'd say, even though there was a mass exodus from South Dakota State.
I don't know.
South Dakota State still builds well, and they still retain.
Well, actually, okay, so that's fair that they do have different roster building approaches, in the sense that I think that it's an aberration to assume that they're going to dig into the transfer portal.
Like Casper.
Huh?
The ghost, the aberration.
Do you know what aberration means?
What am I thinking of?
It's not.
Is that aberration? There's a ghost term that is like
aberration,
maybe.
A departure from what is normal, unusual, or expected. I love it. It's one of my favorite words. I don't know what word you're going with. I think
I'm going for apparition is what I was going with. So pardon me.
For ghost. Well, now you've taken me completely down this. Yeah, apparition.
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry.
Hey, man, if you're going to criticize my vocabulary,
I wasn't trying to.
know the words. Jackass. Hey. Do you know that word?
Yeah, I've heard that one a couple times.
Rube. Ass. What was I saying? Yeah, I think it's not common that we'll see South Dakota State having to go in the transfer portal this much. And I would expect under Coach Marion, I think that, and we kind of, the glimpse of what he was doing when he was the OC at UNLV is not enough context to know if that's how he's going to approach Sac State. But I think that this philosophy of going after the biggest name guys that are available and bringing them in, they've got deep coffers that they can spend money seemingly that is there, but we don't know if it's real or not. To bring in a former high 4-star in Rashada, to bring in Jamar Curtis, who's a top 5 FCS running back from last year. I think over the next couple of years, that's probably going to be the case. But where I think that we're going to learn from both of these teams is what wins out. Is it going to be the physicality that we're used to with South Dakota State, or is it going to be the creativity and the high-flying offense that is the go-go offense?
I'll tell you what it is, and if I may give my broken record alert that I do, I guess, every year. It's special teams in week 1. It's special teams early. It's the little things early in the season. A lot of you guys watched week 0 football. And if you did, and you watched full games, you know what you saw? You saw muffed punts. You saw bad errors that cost teams games and cost momentum. And whatever team walks out of this tunnel and is a little more disciplined, because no one's going to be perfect in week 1. Whichever team is just a little more disciplined when it comes to the special teams, the little things, the drilling, the focus, the penalties, that's who wins in week 1. That's the better team. That carries on past FCS. That carries on into FBS. I would say the same thing about Texas, Ohio State, as I would Sac State, South Dakota State when it comes to early season football. Avoid the nonsense. Come locked in. I know school is starting. I know it's all starting and it's all coming at you, and you got people in the stands and you've been isolated with just 90 dudes for a month. It's all going to hit quickly. And there's going to be baddies in the stands, and your family's there. You're waving at them.
This is analysis that nobody thought that they were getting.
No, of course not. But this is the truth. This is the true analysis. Stay focused, and you'll probably win that game. You probably will. And I'd say the focus level gauge between the two over the last years, that win goes to South Dakota State.
You kind of alluded to this when we came into this segment. This is probably one of the hardest games to preview because of all of these variables that come into play for this matchup. You have completely different teams, but at the same time, they're two of the biggest brands in FCS football. Sac State overnight became one of the most ambitious programs in FCS football. I do partly wonder if that ambition is enough for them to catch South Dakota State off guard as they're going through a very difficult transition period. I implore anybody to go look at the list of transfers from South Dakota State. It is a long list of guys that left to go to Washington State to follow suit with the entire group that left together to go to Washington State. A lot of the core guys left. If there is, and I'm sorry to say this, South Dakota State fans, if there is a time to get caught off guard, it is in this week going up against a very difficult offense to deal with. UNLV has been one of the most productive offenses over the past couple of years, and they have gotten juice out of some of the most unlikely guys in college football. Malik Williams.
Yeah.
Matt Sluka. They went and grabbed players that were solid FCS guys and turned them into highly productive ones. The Sluka thing was a whole separate dilemma. But Malik Williams, I would have guessed when we were talking about him when he was at Campbell that he would be producing the way that he did at UNLV and be a driving force for them going to their conference championship game. You know what's crazy? The craziest part about all this? Coach Marion goes down a level to the FCS and has a more talented quarterback than he ever did at UNLV. That is insane. And anyone doesn't believe me, Rashad is gifted. Rashad had a very complicated path to get to where he is. He showed a lot of bright spots at Arizona State, got a little bit banged up, couldn't get on the field. He thought it was best for him to go to Georgia. got beat out by Ryan Puglisi, who a lot of people think is going to be comically talented at Georgia. This kid is good. He is not your typical wayward bust. If you see this dude out of nowhere start to pop off and start to put up a ton of production, do not come back here and act like we weren't saying that on this show.
There was a reason he was offered nearly $14 million in NIL from Florida. There is a reason that he was valued. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous to even think that was happening. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. Like we've been teased with this guy about, well, he's jumped from top tier to top tier to top tier. It hasn't worked for him. Maybe he's one of these guys that just can't handle the big school and all of the.
You good over there?
No, I'm dying.
Tag me in.
I'm dying. Yeah. Maybe he's just one of these guys that needs a little more focus, a little less distraction. You know where you get that?
Shit to do in Sacramento.
Why are you trashing Sacramento?
When was the last time you heard somebody say, I want to move to, oh God, we're going to get clipped for that. Never mind.
What do you mean? What's wrong with Sacramento?
I'm not going to elaborate. I forgot. I got to be careful. Well, actually, Sacramento has this. How dare you?
You think the Sacramento faithful are going to be
pouring
out in droves?
I've never interacted with very many Sacramento State
I think it was either it sucks when you're quoting something and you can't reference exactly what you're quoting, but it was either a tweet or something about going to vacation to Sacramento. It could have been from a movie or a TV show, but the punchline was, I can't believe they're going to vacation in Sacramento. That's all I have on it. I had no reference. I could have made it up. You will never know.
You'll never know what's going to happen in this game either. Let's get to the other game that we have a lot of intrigue for. Montana State versus Oregon. I don't think that we are in an upset spot here. And I don't think Oregon fans think that there's an upset spot to be had. I have found it a little interesting. There's a little intrigue. It's like, hey, this is actually a real tough FCS matchup. We're not just getting Slappy State rolling in here that's just going to donk around for 4 quarters and we're going to get in and out.
Would have accepted that offer. Slappy State.
This is Coach Anderson at Slappy State. We would like to offer you a
Slappy State
walk on.
Well, we're not the Slappy State Slappies. We'd have to be the Slappy State.
What Staties?
No. I had Slappy State diplomats. Something real boring, real bureaucracy. Something stupid. The senators.
Something like very, very bold. Something very like confident.
The Slappy State pilots. I don't know why I went with bold and confident as a pilot, but I think you kind of have to be. I'll stand with that. I don't have a pilot.
Slappy State Cougars.
Slappy State Cougars.
Okay. We got to get back on track here. Montana State's not Slappy State. They're not. They are a tremendous program. Now, there's a lot of roster turnover that is happening here. We have spoke how we're really excited to see what happens for this team and how this offense is going to work flowing through Adam Pac-Man Jones. Got a lot of faith for him. I think that this defense, despite turning over a few people, but bringing back some of these core guys, I think are enough for this team to really be a stout squad for 2025.
I believe it was week 1 last year where we got clipped out talking about South Dakota State, and people were unhappy by us giving a warning that you can't take them lightly. I don't know if we necessarily have to do that this year because Oregon is already on FCS warning watch from last year after going down to the wire with Idaho.
They're not getting upset.
I agree that they're not getting upset, but we don't have to give a warning because I feel like a lot of those guys understand now you can't really take them lightly. We only were leading by 3 points at one point against Idaho. So there's no forewarning needed. These dudes understand, and it's going to be the yokel fans that don't get it. When Montana State rolls in, they're coming with dudes that could play FCS offensive line. They're playing with dudes that could play FBS D-line. They got great running backs. All of the little intangible things that cause upsets, the run game, the stout defense, the physicality. Oh, how could the FBS team lose the FCS team? The FCS team wanted it more, and they did those 3 things. Montana State has those in droves. So while they very much likely will not upset Oregon, I'll be watching. I'll be watching closely because the intrigue is high.
Well, so this serves as a good barometer for both these teams because, again, it's a test for both squads. It's not a fake one. A lot of times we get these bye games, it's a fake test. You go out there for the beginning of the game and you overlook your opponent if you're the highly ranked FBS team, and the opposite, you have high hopes and you think you could do some things, but at the same time you understand, hey, we're kind of just going out there to get the shit kicked out of us. That doesn't apply here. I think that this is a situation for Oregon to be focused, to know that they're going to get into a little bit of a battle, to understand and work through some of the kinks of Dante Moore taking over, figuring out who in the receiver room is going to step up with Evan Stewart down with the injury. Can DK Moore be as good as everybody thinks? One interesting layer that we talked about in the preseason preview overall for the FCS, there's going to be a new quarterback this year for Stanford. Justin Lamson, who came in from Stanford, very common pipeline for Stanford students to go to a much better academic institution at Montana State.
Yeah, you know what?
What's his major?
Just
sociology major. Oh, so he was just dicking around at Stanford.
Yeah, just put a tent around that whole football program and ship him off to different FCS schools.
You couldn't
lose to Hawaii more, Stanford.
He was also at Syracuse previously. You couldn't have at least tried to major in something cool, sociology at Stanford. You couldn't have I'm going to test out engineering. I'm going to give it a go. Let's see if engineering happens. Let's see if we can make that one work. No, so what are you going to do with a sociology degree?
Look, I think
it might just
it might be the only institution in America where you could get a sociology degree and actually put it into effect. Yeah,
I hope he got the degree.
It's like the one place where you can actually do what you want after.
I have no idea if he graduated or not. His stats are a little shaky though, so this is what I think we need to see how he's going to perform against Oregon, and it's going to be a very formidable defense that he's going up against. But does it give us a feeling out here for, can he make some big plays? Can he be impactful on the ground? He's contributed in over the last 2 seasons for Stanford. 12 games in 2023, he contributed. He only started 3, 43% completion percentage, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, 500 yards. But he rushed for 334 and 5 touchdowns. He was like a wildcat guy. Last year, same thing. 8 rushing touchdowns, 94 rushing yards, but a 51% completion percentage. And he only had 300 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So not the starting quarterback for Stanford.
What is the points outcome for Montana State that you think would be acceptable for them in this game? And how do you think last year's Montana State would have done against Oregon? How many points? Like, what's the gap between? Because last year's team, I think, would have put up like 21 points.
This is a take that I think some people might be bothered by, considering Idaho. If Montana State took Idaho's place in week 1 when they faced them, they could have. I think that they would have upset them. I do. I think that Idaho had some flaws offensively. That Montana State was much more dangerous. Tommy Mellott was far more dangerous as a runner than what Idaho had available to them in their passing attack. I think that there was a lot more dynamic and dangerous of a rushing attack where Oregon was sleeping on them. Montana State would have caught them off guard. I think that is not an insane thing to say because we watched a game where a lesser Idaho team almost pulled it off.
Right.
This year, though, I think realistically probably going to be like a 3-touchdown loss. For just being realistic, there's a lot.
I think that's, and by the way, I think that is. I don't
think that's a blowout that you get upset over. If it's more than that,
you get 2 touchdowns for this Montana State team. I'm happy. You can't get.
I don't know why you would schedule this game. By the way,
if you're a Montana State,
no, if you're Oregon, it's a mistake. Yeah. It's a mistake.
What? Just too much of a chance for it to happen.
Yeah, we watched. Oregon's much better than Colorado and Iowa, but I think back to when South Dakota State took it to Iowa and it was close. And when North Dakota State last year took it to Colorado and it was close. I think that it doesn't apply here because though Colorado had clear weaknesses where they couldn't control ball control and that killed them. Iowa couldn't throw the damn ball, so that gave South Dakota State a little bit of an edge in that matchup. That doesn't apply here because Oregon's so balanced.
What if these, and this is maybe giving these people way too much credit because they're ball coaches after all. what if these ball coaches are playing chess and they know their teams could be softer than baby shit?
Oh, they want to get in their heads?
And they want to get in their heads and say, because they'll probably end up winning. But hey, this is an FCS team punching you in the mouth. Like that halftime.
That actually is not a bad point.
If I was a coach, I would
Ball
not
coaches do weird shit like that.
I would be weird enough to schedule a top tier FCS team just so I could go into that halftime and ream that team out and wake them up for the rest of the year. Because I mean, it would be a lot of colorful language, certainly, but it's not. It would be a quick. This ain't shits and giggles, fellas. All right, you got to go out there and play ball, and you got to do it for another 11 weeks and half of football. I don't mind that strategy. I hope they keep doing it. I love watching good FCS teams play really good FBS teams. I like seeing the gap, and I like seeing sometimes if the gap is small and why. It's a really good start to the season to have great FBS games, some good FCS games, and then a healthy mix to see if something fun could happen.
All right, let's get the FC estimates here.
Oh, I'd love to.
Current standing, Sean's 2-1-1. I am 1-2-1.
It feels like
can you give
last week.
Can I get a win for the UC Davis game?
What do you want to be? You want to no?
UC Davis won.
You know what? I'll give you 2. I'll give
winning.
you 1, 2, and asterisks. How about that?
No asterisks.
Somebody on this show made a claim that he would have a lead going into week 1, and he would not relinquish it.
Lead.
He would not relinquish it for the rest of the year.
The baby lead of all leads that you have.
It ain't going anywhere, Jack.
I'll talk, dummy. All right, first game. Why you always got to put a URI game on here?
Look, it's week 1. There's a lot of FCS, FBS, so there's some barrel scraping for some of the FCS.
We got to decide if we're going to homecoming. By the way, we got to figure.
It's on the 20th of September.
Oh shit!
Last time I looked, it's like less.
Oh, that was when Ryan wanted us to go to Clemson.
Also,
I'd be a real hypocrite if we went to the URI game. If
Idaho fans, I'm not
going to get back from that. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'm not going to jinx it, Idaho fans. There might be some stars coming to Idaho for that game with us. We might, and I'm not going to jinx it.
A lot of talk, though.
There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of chatter and a lot of talk in our personal circles.
Everyone suddenly wants to be a part of the gang.
And I don't mind if we want to start doing a yearly
group gathering,
yearly group pilgrimage to an FCS game. Everyone has a really good time. But I don't want to jinx it, but just a heads up that we could have some real heavy hitters coming.
All right. Campbell at URI.
URI starts off 1-0.
Give me URI as well, reluctantly. Monmouth at Colgate.
I will take Monmouth.
That's not what you wrote down. I'm going to take Monmouth as well. Richmond at Lehigh.
Lehigh. Richmond can, I'm not going to give them any love.
Yeah,
here.
They're going to squash those spiders. Give me Lehigh as well. William and Mary.
He's back in the fold.
That's like a 1 on the scale. What are you talking about?
I forgot about the jokes. I can't believe this.
William and Mary at Furman.
Give me William and Mary.
Yeah, I'm going to take William and Mary too. I don't know how I feel about either of these teams yet. UNH versus NCCU.
Oh, come on. I am going with UNH to win this game.
I'm gonna go backtrack off of my incorrect pick last week. I'm gonna take NCCU.
You're rolling with the HBCU.
Yes.
Also, RIP Craig Hall. I saw a really sad tweet. HBCU, a big community member, passed away. So just wanted to get that out there. RIP.
Sac State versus South Dakota State.
I am going South Dakota State.
Give me the Jackrabbits. Idaho State at Southern Utah.
Idaho State.
I'm taking Southern Utah. I think that Idaho State game versus UNLV was just a slap off between two messy teams. And I think that Dan Mullen is in over his head.
At UNLV?
Jumping in there at UNLV. Yeah. These big time coaches think that they're all big dick. Stepping in.
Dan Mullen thinks he's big dick?
Yeah, I bet he thought that he was all like, oh, Idaho State, we don't need to play defense. Southern Utah, man. Give me Southern Utah.
You can't hang in the jungle, man.
Give me Iwu versus Uit. What do you got? All-time phonetic game there. How have we not gotten that one sooner? How has that one not happened sooner? Can both teams wear red?
Oh, dude.
Wait, it's not at Ewu. Fuck. That would have been awesome if we got Ewu. Both teams wearing red. It's just the biggest eyesore on the planet. No one knows. Red football.
I will be giving Incarnate Word a second chance. So, UIW.
Mistake! Give me Towson at Norfolk State.
Give me Norfolk State. It's Norfolk, not Norfolk, by the way. Come on. Let's see what Michael Vick can do. Let's see what he can do.
You're underestimating the Towson team. The Towson team is going to be a solid team.
You're underestimating number 7. He had his own shoe. Dickie.
Is he going to suit up? Could you imagine?
Look.
Remember, it's like that Atlanta episode where he's racing guys on the
Here's the thing.
side of the...
I think if Michael Vick suited up in his mid 40s now, I'm assuming, I bet he wins that game for Norfolk State.
He might be 50.
Dude, I bet he still goes in there and wins it.
Lindenwood at St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. Give me the Grimace rep. No? I see you've shown your true colors.
Oh, that's a good
I see you've shown your true colors.
I'm gonna take Lindenwood.
Fake commissioner.
Lindenwood's kind of purple.
You reek.
There's some purple in there. We did a little color math. We could probably find some purple in there.
All right. Do you want to get to a brief? I'm not going to play the production. Do you want to get?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we got a couple voicemails. By the way, if you want to call in 201-834-4308, we've been getting voicemails for NFL, but some of our FCS listeners have been calling in. The phone number is on the overlay as well, so I think that has enticed people. So go ahead.
Let's hear a nice FCS rant.
Hey, fellas, you're probably going to have to do some bleeping on this one. I'm just calling in to talk some shit because Incarnate Word, what the fuck was that? Jesus Christ, it's Nichols. Like, yeah, they got a defensive line, but holy shit! What the fuck was that? That was fucking worse than watching Joe try to hit on a girl at the bar. If I wanted to watch somebody score, I'd just fucking do that.
We haven't seen you do that,
was unreal. And to the Montana fan who called in talking shit about teams that don't have quarterbacks, your coach uses a Ouija board to pick a fucking quarterback, and the problem with that is he's scared of Ouija board, so it takes him until week 6 that he's desperate enough to finally pick one. What are you talking about, quarterback? Shut your stupid pie hole.
Pie hole.
Unbelievable.
Sorry,
Anyways, that's pretty much all my thoughts on this season. Let's see if Ball Sac State can put it up against the Jacks. That'll be interesting. And, other than that, Joe, you keep consulting, Sean, not Joe, Sean, you keep consulting with your little pal on whether or not what your night plans are going to be. It will probably maybe never steer you wrong, or it will. But in the end, you got to.
I forgot that you did that. I forgot that you did that.
I didn't.
Anyways, I will talk to you guys later.
People have been reaching out to me about that bit, about me doing
Who?
it. It's not been good, man.
How many people?
It's not been good.
Wait, how many people have been reaching out?
And also, I'll call
that
it
was
little.
One of the worst.
I don't need listeners calling it little. All right, I was well aware.
How many listeners have called in?
I'm not divulging the more than 2 people that have reached out and said, "Oh my God."
Was the listener I accidentally doxed the one of the people?
If that was Brendan, then Brendan did reach out.
So then it definitely had to have been him.
I'm not saying that is. You got to stop calling other people other people.
Yeah, that's a bad
how do you confirm? You can't confirm that. That guy just said 1,000 F-bombs.
Yeah, that's true. Well, okay, it's not like they don't curse a lot on their show.
Did he say the member would never steer you? Yeah, it steers you wrong all the time, pal.
It steers me wrong plenty.
All the time. You kidding me? I wish I had a good compass down there.
It steered me into fucking wasting too much money on dinner the other night going into the city on a Wednesday. I got much money to do.
You didn't tell me how much you spent. How much?
It was $170 on dinner. I told you that amount. You just want me to repeat it. And it wasn't worth it. I'm going to leave it at that. It wasn't worth it. Was not a first date. Though. It was not a first date. I will never take a girl on a date to dinner on a first date.
Yeah, you had
some
good conversation, probably some laughs.
I gave you the full rundown yesterday. I was annoyed. I was very annoyed. This person was pissing me off. I went on the date with. There were a lot of criticism They seemed like they were trying to be awfully playful about it, but it didn't come off as such. Whatever. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod, 201-834-4308. I'll die lonely.
Happy week 1, everyone.